Hi all, and welcome back to YashaHime. So now we're on season 2, episode 16, which is the Three Princesses Escape. So in the last episode, we had a lovely moment and a funny as hell moment, where Motoha was reunited with uh InuYasha. Like she was reunited with Kagome first. They had a very sweet moment, and then she saw her dad. And yeah, they right right off the bat they apparently couldn't get along for like a moment, only a moment, and then afterwards, when Kagome had Towa help her, push them a little bit together, literally, um, then they embraced, and it was extremely a very sweet moment. So it was so sweet. Uh, they're still trapped in the Black Pearl though, but after the reunion, while Rin was talking to, well, getting acquainted with Towa and Setsuna had asked InuYasha and Kagome how did they recognize Moroha when they were separated for many years. So, Moroha had an excuse. She was shown a photo of her mom and her dad, so that's how she knew that who they were. But how did they know Moroha? So they revealed that there's a lake within the realm that they're in right now, and it's apparently the pond or the lake of the staff of two heads, the Jockin staff. Those two heads, there's reflections of them in the water, and they said that randomly there would be images of Motoha as she was growing up appearing there, and they think that Jockin was purposely showing them Motoha, like basically giving them updates of how she's doing, so they weren't completely like out of the loop of their daughter's life. Um, so I mean that's awesome if Jockin actually did that. Don't know if Sesshomaru had told him to do that or if Jockin just did it on his own. So, but either way, that's awesome. So, um, then Inuyasha found out that Setsuna had actually been killed by Kirinmaru, and that Towa was able to use the broken Tenseiga by creating basically an energy sword with it to revive Setsuna back, which means the Tenseiga kind of like acknowledged her as an owner or a user. So now he thinks that Towa can summon the Tenseiga simply by just calling it out to it, and that maybe she can bring it to them, and if so, they can open the gates where the two guardians are. Uh, Go Gozu and I forgot the other name. Nizu? Nizu? I'm terrible with names. So basically the two guardians that are there. Um the big really tall stone ones. Yeah, that apparently if Toa can bring the Tenseiga to them, then they can use it to get past those gates. So, because the Tenseiga is technically the sword of the afterlife, whereas the Tenseiga was the sword of the living, or at least that's what they were previously mentioned as in the I think it was in the movie of the Three Swords. The because then the third sword was the sword of like hell or something like that. It was something like that. I think that was the only time that it was mentioned of what they were. No, I think it was mentioned in the series also. But anyway, I'm going off topic here. So meanwhile, Rin and Jokin have found Sesshomaru and see that there's like this energy barrier or something or surrounding him. I still can't quite like grasp the word I need for that. But anyway, Jokin tells Rin that it's part of Kirinmaru's attack, and it's draining Sesshomaru's Haku. Haku apparently is the energy that makes your body move. So basically, life force energy, and that Sesshomaru will actually die within hours, apparently, if they don't do something about it. So he says that using a Kyokon root can absorb that demon energy off of Sesshomaru or out of Sesshomaru, and he knows that Towa has it. So they need to get Towa um, to go to Sesshomaru in order to absorb it. Thing is, now Toa is in the Black Pearl, and Takechiyo had the Black Pearl. He was with Rin and Jokin for like only a short moment, but then, out of all characters, Shippo arrived with his with his fox magic that he couldn't control. And Takechiyo, recognizing the spell, used Shippo in order to escape because he knew that Kirinmaru getting the Black Pearl would worsen the situation they're already in. So he escaped intentionally with Shippo to take the Black Pearls to safety. Um, Meanwhile, Rin confronted Kirinmaru and basically said that she will fight in Sesshomaru's stead, since she said that he's not lost the fight, but he is basically out of commission for a second. That apparently propels Sesshomaru to wake up and continue the fight with Kirinmaru. Like it looks like he's back and they're about to face off again. But he asked Kirinmaru why does he want to access the Windmill of Time in the first place. And Kirinmaru reveals that the Grim Comet will appear in 500 years from that time, which is present day where Towa and Kagome lived. So in 500 years, the Grim Comet is going to come, but it's not just going to be a fragment breaking off like how it was previously. Like when Kirinmaru and the Great Dog Demon had originally destroyed the Grim Comet, it was just a fragment that broke off of the comet, because the comet itself wasn't heading toward the planet, it was just a fragment. And then when InuYasha and Sesshomaru had dealt with it as well, it was the same thing, it was just a fragment, and it was not the actual comet. So, my character's getting my face. So, Kirinmaru said that that he has a piece of him, his severed right arm, left arm? His severed arm. That it became another minion of his, who is Kirin Osamu, that the Towa's teacher from the school she just transferred into right before she went to the feudal era. So now Towa finds out that teacher was actually a piece of Kirinmaru, just like Riku is a piece of Kirinmaru as well, and that through him, Kirinmaru can see the future. He can't go to the future, but he could see the future. And the teacher told him that the current comet is definitely heading towards the planet. It's not just going to pass by like it usually does, and just a fragment's going to break off. It's literally the entire comet itself is going to crash on the planet. And Kirinmaru's intention is to go to the future to stop the comet. He wants to destroy the comet. He wants to stop the comet. Now, while those sounds like good intentions, that is not the case. The reason he wants to do that is because since he's a person who constantly seeks to be stronger, constantly seeks power, if he destroys the Grim Comet, he would automatically be considered the strongest being on the planet, because there will be no one else to stop it. If there's no one else there that can stop the comet, but he can, then that's it. There's no one else that can oppose him, no one else that would be able to oppose him. Even if they challenged him, he would just defeat them. So that sounds like it'd be like the ultimate goal of being the strongest for him, but I'm like, I don't think he wants to stop there. So if, unlike the Bone Eaters well, which Kagome and InuYasha used to pass by all the time, and there was never seemed to be consequences with it, but apparently there's consequences if the Windmill of Time is activated, or if Kirinmaru uses it. So I'm wondering if that means that it could literally, he can use it more than once and go to any timeline he chooses. Like, why is it that it would just be 500 years in the future? So it has to go to, it's literally access to space and time, which means he can go anywhere, any when. Doctor Who reference. So, like, that's probably his intention. Like, once he stops the Green Comet at that time, then, and he's considered the strongest there, he'll probably just go to another timeline as well, and, do something there to prove he's the strongest, and maybe that, like, using it more than once in that way is what will cause everything to be destroyed, because Rion had warned that if he gets Akuru's pinwheel and activates the Windmill of Time, he'll basically destroy all of existence. Don't know if it'll be in every timeline or if it'll just be their current timeline, the feudal era timeline, if he'll destroy all that, which, if it's time travel and it's 500 years in the future, technically if you destroy that, 500 years in the future won't happen. I don't know. I mean, there's lots of different rules of freaking time travel. But, yeah, so that's currently what's going on now, and, Akuro's been making like a lot of appearances, so it seems like Kirinmaru is pretty close to getting that pinwheel. So I don't know if he needs Akuro himself or if he just needs the pinwheel, but we'll see. But anyway, so that's basically what's going on in terms of based on last episode. And yeah, so now in this one, and Shippo, and they're gonna show where Shippo and Takechiyo went, which is awesome because it's gonna be another reunion of some original characters. So anyway, enough talking to me. Let's get into this.
西国の大将によって切られ、骨食いの井戸に捨てられたわしの右腕が時空を超えた。その右腕は令和の時代にキリン治と名乗り伝えてきておる。今から500年後、妖霊星の本体が大地に落ち、さすればこの世の人間どもは妖怪たちの餌となり、すべての人間どもは滅びる。それをこのキリン丸が救ってやろうというのだ。しかしアクルは貴様を選んではいないぞ。それはわしが今最強だと思われていないからだろう。だから殺生丸、貴様を倒し犬の一族を滅ぼせば名実ともにわしが最強となるのだ。さすれば時代樹はいやおうなくこのわしを選ぶ。
じっと見てる場合じゃねえ。行くぞ。
行くってどこに？
親父の腹の中にだ。ついてこい。おい。
殺生丸様。
もはや立っているのもやっとのはずなのに、最後の太刀を振ろうとしておられる。
三姫の脱出。
Finally.
ここだ。もともとテッサイガとテンセイガは一本の刀だった。この親父の腹の中でテンセイガのことを強く念じればきっと答えてくれる。天聖河は使い手を選ぶからな。とは刹那を生き返らせたお前ならきっとできる。
わかりました。やってみます。心の中で念じる天聖河。とわちゃん頑張って。頑張る。お前なら絶対やれる。
自分の力を信じろ。
ありがとう。 大丈夫、任せて。天聖が天聖が天聖が。
What's reacting?
何の冗談だ殺生丸。それは切れぬ刀、癒しの天聖画だぞ。
天聖が来てくれ。
Responding.
天聖が。
なんだ、何事だ。
そのまま電池つけるんだ。この力は
Oh wow.
西国の大将の力か。なぜいつもわしに立ちはだかる。
Yeah, Kirinmaru just got blasted away.
大丈夫ですか、殺生丸様。どうしよう。
リン、今のうちだ。殺生丸様を時代樹の中へお連れするのじゃ。
来る。
Ah, there it is.
天聖が。
やったな。
天聖画が来たわ。いいぞトワ、早いとこ持っていこうぜ。ああ。
Uh-oh.
どうしたんだトワ。抜けない。びくともしない。犬夜叉、天聖画をゴズとメズのところまで持っていかないと。
Message.
門は開かねえ。
やべえ、頑張ってくれトワ。うん、なんとかやってみる。
Why won't the Tenseiga come out though? Like if it heeded her call, why wouldn't it abide her?
ここはどこなんだぞ。やはり連続飛びはとっても疲れるのじゃ。こんな高度な狐妖術ができるのに乗り物酔いするなんて結構しょぼいんだぞ。
Uncool.
とっさに思い浮かんだのがこの退治屋の里じゃったが、サンゴたちは元気にしておるかの。おーい、サンゴいるか。尻尾じゃぞ。
Ah.
誰もおらんのかの。お、
Uh-oh.
お元気でしたか。金魚か。お懐かしい。狐妖術の試験はどうですか。好きな女の子とかできた。というかかっこいい狐男子紹介してくださいよ。なんか思いっきりもてあそばれてるんだぞ。そんなことより、おーいモルハー、トワ、セツナ、大丈夫か。もううるさい。
シッポ？どうしたの急に。もしかしてカゴメちゃんと犬夜叉の行方が分かったの？
あ、それがさっぱり。しかしオラの仕入れた情報によると、娘のモロハは妖怪退治でボロ儲けをしている。モロハの両親はこの黒真珠の中にいるんだぞ。ついでに言うと、モロハは全然稼いでないし借金まみれだったんだぞ。なんと犬夜叉たちは黒真珠の中にいたのか。そうなんだぞ。
Kilana.
キララ、何かあったのね。
Kilana with Sango again. I'm so happy now.
モ
さったままびくともしないんだ。とはあの時と一緒だ。お前の全揚力を天聖画に込めるんだ。あの時刹那を生き返らせた時だ。わかった。刹那
Aw.
その調子だ。とわちゃん、髪の毛が黒く。
まるで策が始まったみてえじゃねえか。天聖画を持つってことはそれだけきついってことなんだ。
私を生き返らせるためにあんなに苦しい思いを。とわ、私も手伝う。
Aw. Is it rejecting
こん
Sesshomaru?
なに苦しい思いをしてたのか。とわ、私のために。私の揚力すべて。モロ、黙って見てられんだ。
Come on, come on, come
み
on.
んなの力を感じる。刹那の力、モロハの力、そしてトワ。
She sends her parents too.
どうだ、まだ力は残っているか。うん、手伝ってくれてありがとう。みんな大丈夫？はい。
よし、じゃあこっから出るとするか。
Why does the tree look different now?
摂政丸様。
おお、なんということじゃ。このままでは白が奪われ、摂政丸様の命が。
Don't say it.
大丈夫。トアはきっとここに来てくれます。
なぜそう言い切れる？
天聖画はトアを呼びに行ってくれたんです。
はあ？
信じよう邪剣様。トアを、天聖画を。
Aw. I love Grim.
それじゃ
Aw.
あ、その黒真珠の中にカゴメちゃんたちが閉じ込められてるのね。
そうなんだぞ。キリン丸は犬夜叉たちの命を狙ってるんだぞ。
わかった。母上、とうとうあれを使わなきゃならない時が来てしまったみたいだね。
What's that?
あなたたちと力を合わせて作った漆黒の飛来骨を。
Oh.
私は法師様を呼びに行ってくる。あなたたちは琥珀と翡翠に連絡を。
はい。オラはゴズとメズの門で犬夜叉を待つ。俺も連れて行ってくださいだぞ。お安いご用じゃ。行くぞ。騎士妖術吹き本番。
This one again. Oh, okay. Now it looks a little more controls.
お気をつけて。
はい。
よし、門はこの橋の先だ。
ポーさん、ここが黒真珠の出口なのですかだぞ。そうじゃ。オラたちは昔、あの世とこの世の境からここへ出てきたんじゃ。
コスメス、ここに天聖画がある。とっとと俺たちを通しやがれ。
よし、開いたぞ。
やっと出られるのね。
The routes. Yes, finally. InuYasha and Kagome are finally out of the Black Pearl.
ありがとうございました。
Aw, he's like a little proud uncle.
どうしたと？天聖画が早く来いって言ってるみたいなんだ。天聖画がもしかすると父に何かあったのかもしれない。そんな。
確かキリン丸と戦ってたんだよな。もたもたしてる場合じゃねえ。行くぞ。
はい。
大丈夫か。おお、なんだ、尻尾じゃねえか。
しっぽーちゃん、かごめ、無事か。
ってなんで、俺への心配はないしか。
当たり前じゃ。
竹千代、
俺は懸命にこの黒真珠を守ったんだぞ。キリン丸が襲ってきて大変だったんだぞ。
そっかそっか。よくやったな、竹千代。
まったく、こんなもんのために俺とカゴメは。
ダメよ、犬夜叉。その中にはお父さんのお墓があるのよ。
もう墓参りは秋焼きで。
捨てるなら私にくれ。
お、
モロハ？親父とおふくろはその中に14年間もいたんだろ。だったら私にとっても大切な思いが詰まってる。
Aw, she's sweet.
こうやってばあちゃんの紅の中に墓の黒真珠を入れてやれば、じいちゃんもきっと喜んでると思う。
優しい子
She
ね、
is so
モ
sweet.
ロハは。
そうかな。
よし、尻尾、骨食いの井戸に連れてけ。は？早くしろ、時間がねえんだ。
こんなに大人数無理に決まっておるじゃろ。なんじゃこの断りづらい雰囲気は。師匠、お願いします。
Aw, look at Takechiyo.
こうなったらやけくそじゃ。狐妖術吹き発砲。
It works.
もうダメじゃ。酔ったんだぞ。
上等だ、尻尾。
いない。地大寺の方だ。
モロハは行かないの？
こっから先はあいつら家族の問題だ。邪魔するんじゃねえってことだろ。
Aw.
殺生丸様、もう少しだけ我慢してください。トワもセツナもじきに来てくれますから。
もうおしまいじゃ。
Will you stop saying that? Oh my goodness!
なんじゃ。
Rid's actually gonna be face to face with them. Finally.
おお、よくぞ来てくれた。
母上。
Aw.
呪詛は大丈夫ですか？
話は後じゃ。殺生丸様が。
Alas.
このままではキリン丸の容器に白が全て奪われて死んでしまう。吸妖魂で容器を吸い取るのじゃ。
わかりました。斬星剣。容器を取り除く。容器を吸い取れ。吸妖魂。
It's working.
なんだこれは。どうしたとは。苦しい。まるで体力が吸われていくようだ。
Wait, is it draining her too?
やめろと。
やめない。
He's awake.
容器を吸い取るまでは。
やめろ。でなければ死ぬぞ。
とは。
Is it poisoning her? Well, he's not glowing anymore. His eyes are still black though.
おお、容器を全部吸い取ったぞ。
とは。
Why does Rin look so worried?
どうしたとは。
I'm sorry, is she dead? Okay, how could you just leave it off like that?
倒れたトアの前にあのわらべがまた現れた。アクル、お前は何をしようとしているんだ。親父とおふくろと家族に
Oh, not her again.
なんてこそばゆいの極みだよ。そこへキリン丸が襲ってきた。あのヤバい妖霊星がトアの住んでた現代に落ちるだって。次回、廃陽のヤシャ姫、アクルの風車。
殺生丸様、私たちにできることはあの子たちを信じることですよね。
Ah. Okay, what just happened? So, even though supposedly the Kyokon root can absorb demon energy, like unlimited demon energy, supposedly, why was Towa affected? Like, she shouldn't have been, right? Was it like a poison type thing? Like, Kirinmaru's backup in case something did manage to absorb the demon energy, then it would just attack the person that it absorbed. Like, what the hell? Is she dead? Is my question? Is Towa dead? I mean, it looked like it because the way her eyes were. But it just said, no, yeah, because no, it said Akuru appeared before the unconscious Towa. So, I mean, technically, you could be dead as unconscious, though, because, I mean, unconscious means that you're not conscious. That could be dead or just knocked out. I hope she's not dead. That would... Yo! No! And what about Sesshomaru? His eyes were still black. Like, is he just resting? Like, I mean, his energy was being drained. I'm guessing, like, all she did really was take away the energy that was affecting him. She didn't actually give him back his energy, I guess. So maybe he just needs to recover. Like, but his eyes were still black. But now Towa, like, what the hell? Oh, I hope she's not dead. That would suck. I mean, come on, can this family not get a break? I mean, Rin is finally face to face with her daughters while she's out of her suspended animation, and for a second, just like literally just a few seconds, all three of them were safe. But now, because Sesshomaru was literally on the verge of death, and Towa tried to help him, now Towa is out of commission per se. What? Like, oh my goodness, that Rin's face and that scream from her. Oh my goodness, that was terrible. That is so heartbreaking. Like Rin literally just wants to hold her children for once, wants to have like a happy reunion with them. That's it. What is going on? Like, even Moroha, who did not even know she had parents until recently, even she got a happy, nice, quiet reunion with her parents for a bit. Like what the hell? Why can't the Sesshomaru's family catch a break? Wow, that's just terrible. Okay. So recapping real quick. So Shippo took Takechiyo to Sango's house, and Sango was there along with her daughters. So I get they were apparently working on a black Hirakotsu. So that will be super interesting to see. I want to know what the difference is, because apparently they've been holding off on using it. So I'm wondering, like, because remember, the original Hirakotsu was made by like pieces of demon, so it had demon spirit within it. So I'm gonna assume that the black Hirakotsu has the same thing. Like, it must have been made, but it was made completely differently, because for one, it looks like metal now, and it's not like the Hirakotsu that was more like wood or bone. And yeah, so Moroku's she said that she's gonna call Moroku, and that she wanted her daughters to call Kohaku and Hisui. So it sounds like all hands on deck is what it seems like. You know, they're gathering everyone basically. So I mean, that's awesome. I'm hoping that that just means, because it looks like based on the next episode, we're gonna get some of those characters in. But before we get to the trailer, let's continue the episode. So, Towa was able to summon back the Tenseiga into the Black Pearl, but apparently she couldn't wield it. Like, the Tenseiga would not allow her to grasp it. Only it came to her when she called, but then it wouldn't let her grab it. So she had to literally pour her demon energy into it to like all of it, until her hair had turned black again. Or brown, because isn't technically her hair brown, but anyway, basically pouring all that energy in until the Tenseiga would finally, I guess, acknowledge her or something, or activate for her. But apparently it's afterwards, well, because Setsuna and Moroha helped and basically were pouring their energy into it as well, it was enough to give Towa back her energy. So Towa's hair had turned white instantly, whereas when she had previously done this, it took a while for it to turn back to her white color. And yeah, apparently her thought of pouring all her energy, using up all her energy to pour into the sword, is Setsuna. Like, she was just constantly thinking Setsuna's name in order to get that same feeling back of how she activated previously. So I mean, that was really sweet. so they were able to get out finally from the Black Pearl. So InuYasha and Kagome are finally free from it. 14 years they've been in there. Now they're finally out. And had a nice little reunion with Shippo, only for it to be, dwarfed by the fact that they were all worried about Sesshomaru, because the Tenseiga, as soon as they got out, automatically started trying to pull Towa to go somewhere, and it was urgent. Like, it was basically insisting that she hurry somewhere, and it was to go back to Sesshomaru's side, that he needed her there immediately. So I love that sword. But yeah, so, and then Sesshomaru was actually conscious enough to tell Towa to stop when she started using her sword to absorb the demon energy off of him. He tried to stop her. Like, he was literally trying to protect his daughter, knowing that if she absorbed the demon energy, she would not be able to handle it. She would die. And that's what I'm wondering, did she die? Because she did wind up absorbing all the energy. It is no longer on him. And Jokin had even said that she wound up absorbing all the energy, only for her to collapse. I'm like, I feel so bad for my poor Rin. Oh my goodness. So, yeah, I mean, that's basically the recap of this episode. That was such a shorter recap. Damn. I mean, I'm just so... I'm just, like, so caught up at the end of this episode. Damn. Anyway, so... the trailer for next episode. So... Moroku is going to show up. Kohaku is going to show up. And so is Hisui. I don't know if they're going to show up together, because it looks, based on the slap on Moroku's face, I'm going to assume that Moroku does show up with Sango, and she slapped him. I miss that between them. And Hisui and Kohaku are back with that annoying character. I hate this character. Princess Aya? It's Aya, right? I used to call her Princess Aya. Yeah, so apparently she's back again with her father, and then Kohaku and Hisui are right there, and I'm like, why are they doing this? I'm like, yo, the last time that she was in an episode, that episode was not that bad compared to the one from season one, but I'm like, yo, that episode seemed like almost like it was gonna start pushing Princess Aya with Hisui, and I'm like, hell no. I did not ship them at all. No. I'm like, if I was gonna ship Hisui with anyone, it would probably be Setsuna. Oh yeah, one more thing on this episode, real quick though. Kilala with Sango. That is adorable, and I miss that so much, because remember, Kilala was originally with Sango throughout the entire InuYasha series and final act. So, it's a bit of a surprise that Kilala wasn't with Hisui or Kohaku, that instead Kilala was with Setsuna, who is not related to Sango. So, it was a bit of a surprise when I first saw it back in season 1, that it was like, I'm like, I love Kilala, and I definitely don't mind Kilala with Setsuna, but two things that I had a problem with in the YashaHime series was, one, that Kilala was not with Kohaku and Hisui, who are both related to Sango and are both in the series, and two, Kilala is not in the series that much. Like, that's one thing that's kind of disappointing me about this. It's like Kilala just seems to randomly show up, like, just call and Kilala shows up when they need to go somewhere. Sometimes, it doesn't happen all the time, it's just sometimes. But it just seems like convenience-wise. Like, Kilala doesn't seem to fight that many demons in this, when she was, like, an integral part of the group in the InuYasha series. Like she fought side by side with Sango a lot, and with others too. Like, she fought almost side by side with them, And, like, in this particular case, like, she's hardly ever here. Like, she's she's treated basically as transportation, but she makes as much appearances as, like, Kagome's bicycle did in the original series. Like, that's the one thing. I'm like, yo, Kilala can fight demons. Like, she is, like, the perfect companion to have as a demon slayer. So why is it that she's not more involved when, Setsuna, Towa, and Motoha were traveling around? Like, how come Kilala wasn't there with him that much. And no, before you say that Kilala was with, the Demon Slayers, it's like even then, like she wasn't shown that much. And that's one thing that disappoints me about YashaHime. It's like you have Kilala there, but you barely use her, And I'm like, she was such a big part of the original cast. Like she was a big part with them. She was in every episode. So that's one thing that kind of disses me on this. But yeah, but seeing them now today, seeing Kilala show up right to Sango, because remember Sango can understand when Kilala makes her little sounds, like Sango can understand what Kilala is saying. So I like that Kilala went right to her. Ooh, that was so sweet. I was like, I'm hoping to see Sango. If Sango's gonna use that Black Hirakus, I'm hoping that means that Sango is going to be A, in her Demon Slayer gear, and B, riding Kilala into battle. I will absolutely scream. Not really, but close enough if I see that. I'm hoping for that with Moroku. But yeah, so now next episode, Moroku, like I said, is gonna definitely make an appearance and get slapped in the face again. Princess Ai is going to be in the next episode, apparently, with Kohaku and Hisue. It might just be a small scene. Because it doesn't seem like the next episode's filler episode. Especially if Kirinmaru is in the next episode and still trying to get it. But the thing is, the name of the episode is Akuru's Pinwheel, which means that either someone's going to get the pinwheel finally, or Akuru's going to give the pinwheel to someone. Like, I don't know, supposedly Akuru is going to appear before Towa, so maybe Towa will get the pinwheel, and maybe the pinwheel will help her. Like, hopefully she's not dead. Really, really hoping she's not dead. But, like, it seems like finally someone's going to get the friggin' pinwheel. Also, Tree Kikiyo, the Tree of Ages version of Kikiyo, is going to make another appearance again. I don't know if that means that she's going to, help Towa or help Sesshomaru, because he's, out of commission for the moment as well. And also Sesshomaru's mother, Kimi. I've seen the name Kimi around, that's why I call her Kimi. She's also going to be the episode as well, which is technically not a surprise because two reasons. One, she literally, the windmill of time is right in front of her palace, so anyone who's going to approach it will be seen by her. So I don't know if she's going to confront someone about it. Like if someone gets the pinwheel of time, that's where they're going to go. I mean, the pinwheel, Akuru's pinwheel, that's where they're going to go. It's the windmill of time. So she's probably going to be approaching them, most likely. But number two was, I thought about this before, but I don't think I said anything. Kirinmaru wants to basically wipe out the Dog Demon clan. Kimi is part of the Dog Demon clan. She could probably see Akuru, now that I think about it. She could probably see Akuru as well. But, she wasn't going to help Kirinmaru get the pinwheel. I'm like, why? Or she probably wouldn't be bothered to go hunt for a little spirit in the first place. But, doesn't that, if he plans to wipe out the entire clan, doesn't that mean he would plan to wipe her out as well? Mind you, he had when he previously came across her, which was actually not that long ago. It was back in season 1. Like, it wasn't like centuries ago. I mean, it was back in season 1. He was talking to her and was saying that he thinks that Sesshomaru's intentions were to protect his daughters, whereas Kimi was like, that's nonsense, that you're making it seem like Sesshomaru is a human, and no, the half-demons prove their worth through survival. So, Kirinmaru was just, like, mentioning that to her, and she was like, yeah, no, you're hallucinating. Sesshomaru would never do that. He is not human. So, he called her ladyship, even though she said that was no longer her title. He held her in high regards. Like, he respected her, like, really respected her. So that's what I'm saying. Like, does he actually plan to kill her? Like, in order to wipe out the Dog Demon clan, does he plan to kill her, or does he think that she's not really a threat? Because I don't know if she's actually a fighter to begin with. I mean, she is a full-blooded full-fledged dog demon as well. She can transform, as we've seen back in InuYasha Final Act, the first time that she made an appearance. She had been in her large dog demon form when she first came across Sesshomaru. So, you know, like, it makes me wonder what kind of strength does she have? Like, is it just tied to the Meadow Stone, which, I'm wondering if she's gonna use that to help Towa and Sesshomaru, which I also wonder too. How does she feel about her granddaughters? She is a grandma after all. But how does she feel about her granddaughters? Because it's like, you know, she's obviously aware that they exist. And, you know, when Kirinmaru told her that, you know, that he thinks that Sesshomaru intends to protect his daughters, and she was denying it, you know, like, did she actually seriously agree with Kirinmaru, or was it that she was, like, trying to protect Sesshomaru by denying it? And, because, back in season 1, when Sessuna first killed Zero with the blood blade, before, the Tenseiga was broken, Kimi decided to basically contact Zero while Zero was on the path towards the afterlife, and she was using the Meadow Stone to speak with her. It seemed like she was purposely stalling Zero so that Sesshomaru would have the chance to revive her before Rin died. Because at the time, Rin's life was tied to Zero. If Zero died, Rin would die as well. So Rin hadn't died yet, and Sesshomaru saw that, you know, Rin was in trouble, so he went to Zero's side to basically revive her. Well, to find out what happened and then revive her. And I'm wondering, like, because, you know, like, it seemed like she was stalling the conversation so that they were having. So, you know, like, it was speculated that maybe she purposely kept Zero there, like, kept Zero from moving to give Sesshomaru the time he needed to revive her. This way Rin would still live. That would indicate that she actually either cared about Rin or just cared enough about Sesshomaru's happiness that she knew he would be upset if his wife died. So, you know, like she doesn't seem like she's just completely indifferent to her son's life and his family. So, you know, like, wondering how she feels about this whole thing, and what does she think about her granddaughters? I'm super curious about that. So, also, I cut this part out because my train of thought had previously died on the last episode, but since Towa can technically wield the Tenseiga responds to her, does that mean at some point it may be passed down to her? Because I'm just curious. It's like the sword seems to now have two owners, or two people that can wield it. It's Sesshomaru and Towa. Does that mean that Sesshomaru at some point plans to give the Tenseiga permanently to Towa? I mean, that would mean Towa now would probably have about, what, 3 swords now? Because she still has her old sword. I don't know why she still has it. I don't know if it's like just sentimental reasons, maybe, because I mean, she did technically bring it from her timeline. So she just could have like a sentimental value to it, even though she knows it's a fake sword. And then she had the Sangetsu. So, you know, like, if she has the Tenseiga, that's 3 swords. I don't know, like, is that the case? Like, is that endgame for this? So, I'm kind of curious about that. Because it's just the fact that the Tenseiga is responding to her. It didn't want her to pick it up at first, but it did come when she called. It didn't have to, but it did. So, you know, I'm pretty curious about that. You know, like what's it gonna be like going down the line if she's not dead. I'm really hoping she's not dead. I'm really hoping that. Because the problem is, if she's dead and Sesshomaru does not have the energy, how is Towa going to be revived? Because they do have a time limit on reviving people now with the Tenseiga. So, curious. Anyway, but yeah, that's basically it for now. That's my thoughts on this now. It is super late and I am sorry. So if I forgot a bunch of things, I do apologize. It is so late right now though. And I'm like, I was going to wait till tomorrow to record this, but it takes a while just for it to export and then to upload to YouTube. So this might not even come out until Monday. So I do apologize if it comes out late or not. Also, I'm going to try to keep the opening and the endings in the episodes as much as I can, because I did manage to keep it in the episode I uploaded yesterday, which was episode 15. I kept it in episode 14 because it was the first time that was the new opening and the ending. That was the first time those were used. But in episode 15, I kept them there because apparently the episodes were not flagged by YouTube for once. So I'm going to see how long this will take, because when season 2 first started, I did the same thing. I had the opening and the ending there for a couple episodes, and then I started getting the copyright strikes after that. So yeah, if you see them, that's why. But I'm not gonna try to talk much in them, just in case I have to cut them. So if I just jinx myself, then alas, you will see a note in the description of the video about it. If not, then they'll be there. Alright, so let me know what you guys thought of this. Like, dislike the video, subscribe to my channel if you want more, or follow my Twitter. I have a link down in the description below. Also, I do have a link down in the description below for a playlist of my other YashaHime videos, the other ones that I've reacted to. So it's every episode of season 2. I do not have reaction videos of season 1 alas, because I watched season 1 when it first came out, and that was before my YouTube channel. So alright, so I'm done for the night. Sorry. Have a good night. Bye.